In many parts of Asia, foods like century eggs and chicken feet are prized delicacies. But for decades, Western diners have frequently looked at these exact same dishes with a mixture of fear, suspicion, and outright disgust. This reaction has a name: sensory xenophobia. It is the tendency to view unfamiliar cultural foods as toxic or unhygienic, a response driven by ingrained bias rather than actual biological fact. To see how powerful this bias can be, we need to look at the most famous victim of it: monosodium glutamate, or MSG. In the mid-20th century, as American diners began exploring Chinatowns, this simple seasoning salt became the target of a massive public panic. The hysteria traces back to a single 1968 letter published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The author claimed that eating at Chinese restaurants caused numbness, weakness, and a rapid heartbeat, speculating that MSG was the culprit. This purely anecdotal letter, which was later revealed to be a hoax, birthed the term Chinese restaurant syndrome. This chart shows how selectively that fear was applied. Diners demanded that Chinese restaurants remove MSG from their takeout menus. At the exact same time, major American food corporations were actively pumping it into mainstream canned soups, TV dinners, and even military rations, with absolutely zero consumer backlash. Still looking at the data, the chemical reality of MSG becomes clear. MSG is simply a combination of sodium and L-glutamic acid. L-glutamic acid is a naturally occurring amino acid, one of the basic building blocks of protein, that provides a savory, umami flavor. It is chemically identical to the compounds found naturally in tomatoes, mushrooms, and Parmesan cheese. The widespread fear of MSG was never based on biology. It was a cultural construct, rooted in historical prejudices that conditioned Western palates to distrust foreign cooking under the guise of health concerns. This same bias frequently targets another staple of Chinese cuisine, the century egg, or pidan. Western media often labels it a challenge food, assuming its dark, jelly-like appearance comes from literal centuries of burial or unchecked rotting. In reality, the curing process takes anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. It starts by coating a raw duck, chicken, or quail egg in a thick paste made of clay, wood ash, salt, and quicklime. During the curing process, the compounds penetrate the shell, raising the egg's internal pH to a highly alkaline 9 to 12. This prevents bacterial spoilage while acting as chemical scissors, breaking down complex, flavorless proteins into smaller, savory umami compounds. Those precise chemical reactions also create the egg's distinct appearance. The dark amber color and the snowflake-like patterns that form on the egg white are the result of a process similar to the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction is a chemical process between amino acids and reducing sugars that gives browned food its distinctive flavor, similar to what happens when you toast bread. The century egg is not a product of decay. It is an ancient, highly controlled masterpiece of alkaline chemistry. Understanding these dishes requires looking at a core difference in culinary philosophy. While Western diets prioritize heavy flavors and solid muscle meat, Chinese gastronomy places equal value on kolgan. Kolgan translates to mouthfeel, and it refers to the physical texture and sensation of the food. Chicken feet, known as feng jaw, are a prime test of kolgan. Foreigners often misunderstand the dish because they bite into it expecting a mouthful of chicken meat and find none. Looking at this anatomical diagram of a chicken foot, you can see why there is strictly no muscle tissue. The structure consists of skin, small bones, and a dense network of tendons packed with collagen, a protein providing elasticity to connective tissues. To transform those dense structural proteins into something edible, chefs use a highly specific cooking method. The feet are deep fried to puff the skin, then subjected to a long, slow braise. This breaks down the connective tissue, turning it into a prized, meltingly gelatinous texture that absorbs the savory cooking sauces. This deep understanding of texture drives culinary innovation, especially in working-class environments. Take Hong Kong's bustling Dai Pai Dongs, which birthed Wunzai Chi, commonly known as imitation shark fin soup. Harvesting genuine shark fin is an ecological disaster and carries a massive price tag. The culinary irony is that the fin itself is completely flavorless. Wealthy banqueters historically valued it entirely for its unique, snappy kogon. Street food chefs found a solution. They replicated the luxurious, gelatinous texture of shark fin using mung bean vermicelli, also known as glass noodles. These inexpensive plant-based noodles soften quickly and become slightly translucent, mimicking the physical sensation of the real thing. Judging traditional ingredients strictly by Western metrics blinds us to a sophisticated culinary philosophy. This is an approach to food that champions textural diversity, intense resourcefulness, and sustainable zero-waste eating. MSG, century eggs, and chicken feet are not bizarre anomalies. They are logical, scientifically sound components of a highly refined cuisine. There is a glaring double standard in how we judge food. Western palates revere the biochemical breakdown required to make aged cheeses or cured meats, yet instinctively demonize the identical scientific processes when they appear in Asian traditions. Holding on to sensory xenophobia does not protect our health. It only restricts our palates and disrespects centuries of brilliant culinary evolution. As the global food system looks for sustainable, nose-to-tail solutions, it makes absolute sense to study the resourcefulness already perfected by traditional Chinese gastronomy. By actively dismantling our cultural biases, we correct historical prejudices and find ourselves in a vast, brilliant world of flavor, chemistry, and texture.